It is Friday at 5:49. You have 11 minutes left before the weekend starts. You hit publish, you close the laptop. At 9:47, your phone buzzes, the export uploaded, with no audio. The weekend that was 11 minutes away just moved to Sunday night. If a digital project fails, people usually blame the big thing. The idea was wrong. The tool was wrong. The platform changed. The algorithm did not cooperate. And sometimes that is true. But in real work, especially in creator work and AI work, there is another kind of failure. It is smaller, quieter, and much more annoying. It is the tiny technical gotcha that you did not plan for because it looked too small to deserve respect. A gotcha is not a mistake you are too stupid to avoid. That matters. A gotcha is a mismatch between how a system appears and how it actually behaves. The interface says one thing. The workflow assumes another. The documentation leaves out the one detail that matters in your exec setup. The API quota that ran out at the worst moment. The export format that looked right until another tool refused to read it. The permission checkbox you missed. The account that was created under the wrong email. The file that was saved locally when the project expected it in a watched folder. The audio that sounded fine in preview and then landed at a volume level only bats could appreciate. That is the kind of thing that steals your weekend. Not because it is intellectually difficult, but because it arrives late, hides badly, and makes you question every life decision between Friday evening and Sunday night. There are 5 gotcha zones I want to use on this channel again and again, because they show up everywhere. First, identity gotchas. Which account are you using? Which email owns the project? Which Google account owns the API key? Which provider account bills the usage? This sounds administrative, and that is why people rush through it. But identity mistakes create the kind of confusion that is almost invisible until you need to change something later. If a YouTube channel, a cloud project, an API key, and a payment account all live in different places, you have not created flexibility. You have created future archaeology. Second, permission gotchas. Modern tools love friendly labels. Connect, allow, continue, grant access. But permissions are not friendly, they are boundaries. A tool may only need read access, another may need write access, a third may need access to billing, storage, or external APIs. If you do not understand what a permission allows, you are not being non-technical. You are being unprotected. The practical fix is simple. Before connecting a tool, ask one sentence. What exactly can this tool do after I click yes? If the answer is unclear, pause. Not forever, just long enough to understand the boundary. Third, format gotchas. CSV is not always the same CSV. A transcript is not always a transcript. A video file may look fine until the editor dislikes the codec. A cue sheet may contain the track data you need, but not in the layout your next step expects. Formats are not just containers. They are contracts between tools. When 2 tools disagree about that contract, the person in the middle becomes the unpaid translator. If you are still here, the next part is the practical payoff. There is a 1-page Gotcha Preflight at the end of this video. 5 questions you can run on any project. Own it, permission it, format it, state it, recover it. The Preflight does not make you slower. It moves the gotcha from Sunday night to Tuesday morning, when fixing it is cheap. Fourth, state gotchas. State means where something is right now. Is the file already indexed? Is the render final or temporary? Did the script change after the voiceover was generated? Is the title draft current, or is it from 3 versions ago? Many workflow failures happen because 2 parts of the process believe different versions of reality. That is why naming, hashes, version notes, checklists, and small status fields matter. They are not bureaucracy. They are memory for systems that do not naturally remember. Fifth, recovery gotchas. This is the one people almost never plan. They ask, how do I make this work? They do not ask, how do I recover when this half works at midnight? A serious workflow has a recovery path. Can you export the data? Can you rebuild from source? Can you revoke the key? Can you restore a backup? Can you rerun the render without guessing which settings were used? If the answer is no, the workflow may still be useful, but it is fragile. There is a folder on every creator's laptop titled Errors to Investigate. It has 8 files. 3 are screenshots of error messages they no longer remember the cause of. 2 are notes that say, check this Monday. Monday was 3 months ago. That folder is not a sign of laziness. It is the absence of a system that turns surprises into prevention. We can fix that. Before you start a project that touches accounts, keys, formats, state, or repeatable output, build a small pre-flight card. 5 lines. Line 1. What account owns this? Line 2. What permission does it need? Line 3. What file or data format enters and leaves? Line 4. Where is the current state stored? Line 5. How do I undo or rebuild it? That little card will not make you look clever on social media, but it may save you from spending half a weekend hunting the wrong problem. Here is the tension. We should not turn every small task into a paperwork ritual. The goal is not to become paranoid. The goal is to become selectively careful. If a task is disposable, move fast. If a task touches accounts, billing, keys, credentials, customer data, export formats, production files, or repeatable channel output, slow down for 3 minutes. A channel is not just ideas and thumbnails. It is accounts, keys, scripts, renders, metadata, publishing decisions, analytics, archives, and a frightening number of tiny dependencies wearing casual clothing. Suppose you want to publish a video that uses an AI-generated voiceover, a motion graphic, a few screenshots, and a YouTube upload description. The creative task is the message, but the gotchas are hiding in the path. The script changes after the voice is rendered, the captions no longer match, the screenshot contains a private account name, the export preset uses the wrong codec, and the upload description references a link that changed yesterday. None of those problems is dramatic by itself. Together they can turn a straightforward upload into a small domestic incident. That is why a gotcha log is useful, not a diary of pain. A gotcha log is a list of things that surprise the workflow once and should not be allowed to surprise it twice. When a problem appears, write down the trigger, the fix, and the prevention. The next time, the system gets smarter, even if the humans remain, well, human. The first person who solved the problem should not have to solve it again every time someone else touches the workflow. What owns the action? What has permission? What format moves between steps? What state must be remembered? What happens if it breaks? Those 5 questions are not glamorous. They are also why boring engineers sometimes sleep better than brilliant improvisers. The Preflight at the end of this video is the printable form of those 5 questions. So, the Gotcha Preflight. 5 Preflight questions for your current project. 7 yes or no tripwire checks for your architecture. 1 threshold that tells you whether your workflow can survive contact with a Friday. Faceless, YouTube, automation, hq.com/resources. Email in, Preflight out, completely free. No tracking circus, no upsell, no newsletter you did not ask for. Next, not every task is creative. Some are just precise, boring, and repeated far too often. And when that happens, the right answer is not heroism, it is automation.